Hey y'all, I'm kind of just lying here dozing off, but something just occurred to me and I wanted to append the video that I recorded earlier today regarding the plane chick. Um, because a couple things just crossed my mind that I didn't really explicate in that earlier video. I touched on it lightly, but I didn't really go into it. Um, and I want to go into it a little bit more here. And this is not going to be a long video. I don't have that much more to say, but I have a little bit more that I think is important. Uh, you know, some important, hopefully, light to shed uh, on this very strange media media event. Probably manufactured media event, but again, it takes such a bizarre turn when they have the plane chick, come back and say that she's and apologize and say that she's sorry, and it's so obviously not her. It's so obviously not her. It's so manifestly obvious that it's not her voice, that it's not her face. And what is that all about? Are they try? I mean, is it? I halfway think it's like they want us to doubt our own eyes and ears, And this connects with where I was last week when I was visiting the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville. That was the most absurd event, um, you know, in recent history because there was no evidence of a plane crash there. None. There was a big hole in the ground. That was it. That was it. But people were intimidated or coerced or something that, like, they were convinced to believe, to disbelieve the report of their own eyes and ears when they were shown that not even very large hole in the ground um, on that remote field near the tiny town of Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Um, they said it was like, oh yeah, that's where a plane crash happened. No, it's not a plane crash. Like I've said before, I don't want to repeat myself too much here, but every plane crash that's ever been recorded, there's no matter how catastrophically it wrecked, even when it blew up in the air, in some cases, there was still lots of evidence of a plane. There was nothing, no evidence of a plane. Um, and so it was like, don't trust your own eyes and ears. Trust what we tell you. We're telling you. We're telling you that this is the site of a plane that has crashed. Uh, and we've got this whole inspiring story that we know you'll want to hear, the Let's Roll story about the passengers fighting back. Um, and and so it was just this complete snow job, and it mostly just went without incident. It wasn't really until later that people started to say, no, wait a minute, no, none of this makes sense. Although at the time, on the day of, there were people saying, I don't see any evidence of a plane. There's no plane here that I can see. Um, Somehow they were talked into believing it. They were manipulated, in defiance of logic, in defiance of their senses, the senses that God gives us to be able to apprehend the world, to see things as they are and to hear things as they are. Not that our senses are always trustworthy. There are optical illusions and so forth, but most of the time, we rely on our senses, and we're correct to rely on our senses. And now, they're giving us this other girl. This other this white girl with brown hair, who's about the same height, sort of this, I guess, sort of the same build. Doesn't look like her though. Like, doesn't look like her at all. Doesn't sound like her. What is? Why would they do that? Why would they do that unless they couldn't find the first girl, or unless there was some reason why she just wasn't going to go back on camera. But I'm just in that case, wouldn't they just say, well, let's just hold off of, let's not try to convince people that someone who kind of looks like her really is her, because people are going to watch this and they're going to say, no, that's not her. And people are doing just that. People have said just that. Lots of people have said just that. People who aren't even inclined to be that way. People who aren't, like sort of nutsy about stuff like, oh, his earlobe is a little bit longer on this one, so that's not the same person. And, the way some people really go, some people in the in the conspiracy world kind of go overboard with some of that. Oh, this is a clone, or this is a lookalike. This is not the real person. But in this case, it's manifestly obvious. It's manifestly obvious that that's not the same girl. So, my God, what are they doing? What are they doing? Trying to get us to deny our own eyes and our own ears. The sensible avouch of mine own eyes, as Horatio says in upon sighting the ghost in Hamlet. Like they want us to not believe our own lying eyes. There's something very sinister about that. Anyway, I just wanted to append this to the main video. Thanks for watching.